Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here on my channel. Today's video and also possibly a couple others are revolved around my truck, and I'm so excited to get back into vehicle content and especially this project that we are doing. Today we received from Speed Engineering my long tube headers, and I was going to do cutouts. I will eventually, but for right now we're just going to stick with the long tubes going straight to my exhaust. We have on the way from BTR or Brian Tooley Racing my Chuck Norris cam for the DoD delete because I do have a 2008 Sierra that had the AFM on it. We disabled it around 220,000 miles, I do believe, and she's got 257,000 plus miles on her, so yeah, she really needed that DoD delete. She's also for the most part stock besides the exhaust, aftermarket exhaust that dumps off right after the cab, and then also we have like a cold air intake, which doesn't matter, but now she's getting the headers, and maybe in this video, probably not, we'll start working on the DoD delete. I might make it a little bit extra videos, but I'm so excited to get started on this. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. Originally, when I had plans to do this video with my truck with headers, I originally thought everything was gonna go sort of smooth. I know technically when working on cars, it never goes smooth. I wanna relay and do this video a little bit different since I did not film a lot because we kept running into small little issues. So it'll be a little story, and I'll say what'll happen, import videos, photos, anything that I happen to take, and that'll be how my video is. Hopefully with my cam, it'll be a lot better than what'll happen. I'm pretty sure Friday was the first day. My husband got home early from work and we decided to try and unbolt everything, take off the manifolds, everything like that. I'm so stinking excited. I cannot describe it to you. I've been waiting for so many years for headers, but instead I put my truck on pause to build multiple other vehicles because I know she's high maintenance. We got the driver's side manifold out and we unbolted everything all the way back to the actual exhaust. Of course, going on to the passenger side manifold, my dipstick was completely stuck into my oil pan and we could not remove it. So it was getting kind of late and we decided to pack up, head inside. Josh went to go get some more blades because a lot of the bolts are too corroded, so that resorts to cutting everything off. We have all but one spark plug out, and then also we have to get a new plug wire because one of them ripped. We had a head bolt break off when we were trying to get off the manifold, so it's going good. Saturday morning, when we have lights, we came back outside and started trying to work on my truck. Lo and behold, the dipstick ended up breaking off, and to where majority, like the part that actually enters your oil pan, was still inside of the oil pan itself. And there was multiple ways we could go about this. We could try and get out that broken piece out of the oil pan, or we could knock it through into the oil pan. At first we tried using a couple screws, screwing it into the dipstick tube and then trying to pull it out that way. Of course, it would not work. We found out later that the dipstick tube actually was stuck in there due to an O-ring or a gasket down at the bottom. The last resort, which I was actually okay with because in the 4 years that I've had my truck, I've had a really slow oil pan leak from the oil pan gasket itself. And since I already had that, I just let my husband go ahead and knock it into the oil pan and we were gonna drop the pan. It was a hassle to get that pan dropped. We had to drop the diff. Obviously when dropping the front diff, you had to unbolt it from the front drive shaft and also the CV axles. So we worked on that. We also went around cooler lines and everything like that. It was just a big pain in the butt to drop it. And once we finally got it down, I was so excited. We got to clean it. We found out it was the stock oil pan gasket, and that was partially why it had a leak. That night, we went out to eat for I think like an hour or two, and then we came back and we still were working on the oil pan just a little bit. It was mainly just finishing up, cleaning and organizing a little bit. And our plan, because we had gotten off that manifold from the passenger side, our plan was to Sunday morning come out, put up the pan, everything for the diff, and then also work on the headers. Sunday rolls around, we get out of bed, and the first issue that we come into is that we technically at the time did not drop the front diff enough to put back the oil pan. It was just kept running into it. It was a big pain in the butt, took a very long time. And finally, after getting the oil pan up, we attached everything on the bottom and then we started on the headers, and that was fun all in itself. My husband, when we did headers on his 2011 Silverado, we had to disconnect the steering shaft, and we figured we would do the same, but mine was not coming done, so we did it a little bit different than what we should have probably done. We messed with that to be able to drop in the driver's side header. Finally, after that dropped in, we also did the passenger side. We came up through the bottom with that one, and it worked super easy compared. While working on the headers, we also had 4 originally manifold bolts that were snapped off, of course. So at first we were just going to tackle those when we got to the DOD delete. We went ahead, put on the gaskets, put on the headers, connected everything. Everything was great. We didn't notice a very big exhaust leak right at the header because the passenger side, there was 2 bolts for 1 cylinder, and I'm pretty sure it was the back one, maybe the second to the back, but yeah, both of them were completely broken. So the exhaust leak right there was outrageous. It sounded so bad. My husband was either going to drill it out, and he was looking up kits and stuff like that at AutoZone, and then he found a special tool, an amazing tool, where basically it's the opposite. When you loosen trying to take out a bolt, it'll actually tighten and clamp harder onto that bolt. It is basically just a bolt extractor, and we have never really seen these things, but we ended up getting one. It is a lifesaver. I highly recommend it because we got all 4 bolts out. One of the bolts was kind of hard because it was behind the steering shaft against the firewall, and also a heat shield, but honestly, it works so well. On that Monday or Tuesday, I'm pretty sure it was Monday, we fixed my header leak, and she drives perfectly fine now. We will eventually get a tune, but like I said, that's all after the DOD delete. Right now, I am not worried about it, and I hardly drive her that much, which is sad, but... And now I will import the clips from when she had just Super 44s, then when she had open headers, and then of course, headers with Super 44s.
I'm gonna try to boogie on and get to the bottom.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video so much. I'm sorry it's not how I exactly had planned. I'm hoping that my cam video will be a little bit better and we won't run into as many problems as we had. There was a few other ones that were just minor that we dealt with really quick. So of course, dealing with a truck that is high mileage, also older, and also has corrosion for being in northern states. Even before I bought my truck, it had corrosion. It is a pain in the butt, and a lot of parts on her are actually stock. So Josh and I are finding out the more we dig into her, either how bad or how good she was treated, and also what all I need to keep up with because of the fact that she is an older and more corroded truck. Thank you all again so much, and I hope to see you all for the cam videos. God bless.